Two.
Three.
Thanks.
Well, I say three.
I would say three and
I'm
then
gonna say
four.
three.
Not saying you don't have a personality, but I'm like,
Oh, I'm 5 again.
This is final.
Do you want to start it off?
You want to
You go over there, and then like just shift down.
I think Michelle was the most attractive. How she looked, how she carried herself, and it just seems like someone that's going to live an exciting life, I guess you could say, or that you could have like a deep conversation with.
Could you switch with her? I forgot, they can't even hear me.
You got a point. Okay.
What would you switch?
I switch her and her. You go over there.
Oh, those two. Okay. All right.
And then you over there. You switch. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Personally, for me, she kind of looks like Kristen Bell, and I really like Kristen Bell, so I'd probably put her on the 1 or 2 position. And I kind of like her vibe. I think her whole aesthetic is very nice. So for me, it's either 1 or 2 up here. I think that Maria was the most attractive for me. It was just like her whole vibe, and like I liked how her hair was, how her makeup was done. Like she looked very.
Yeah, you saw Biggums get humbled. Biggums got humbled. She went from being, I believe she put herself at number 2 to the men having to put her at number 5 because guess what? That's where you belong. That's where you belong. And this is what happens, right? This is the byproduct of body positivity. This is the byproduct of participation trophies. This is the byproduct of women always lying to each other, saying that, oh, well, you know, you're a 10, you're a 10, you're a 10. Not everybody is a 10, ma'am. Not everybody is a 10, but this is what happens when you gas women up. This is what happens when you walk through life thinking that you're a 10. I mean, like y'all seen the Whatever podcast. There are so many women, man, who think that they're a 10. Dog, are you not Rhino's cousin? Like, what are we talking about? Like, bro, like, no, you're not. But of course, other women are going to encourage that behavior. And if you notice, not a single woman sat up there and said, "Hold on, man, whoa, you need to let's put you at number 5, right? Let's put you at number 5." But y'all see the one that you know most of your men want. The women saw her as being the least attractive, just to then turn around and have her as the number 1 chick. And it just baffles me, right? That stuff just baffles me, man, because we literally have women who live in delusion like this. And the thing is, she didn't say anything, right? The chick who was number 1, the Asian chick who was number 1, she didn't say anything. She just sat here. The only thing that you heard come out of her mouth, right, especially at the beginning, she's like, "Oh, I'm still at number 5." But hey, it is what it is. I'll be humble about it. Just for the men to come in and set reality straight and say, "Oh, yeah, we can tell, man, women, man, made this line. Well, let's go ahead and let's move you here. Let's move you here." Now, of course, you know, I'm not going to sit here and ignore my sister, man, right? You know, I ain't going to ignore my sister, who is number 4 on the spot, right? Number 4 on the spot. Now, if you ask me, the sister would be either number 2 or number 3. I would probably say number 2. Maria can get number 1. The Asian girl can get number 3. Then the blonde chick can get number 4. And we already know chick is going to be number 5. She's going to be number 5 for most of your men. But the sad thing about it is you will have women who sit here and say, "You can't speak for all men. You can't speak for all men." And this is why you always hear men say, if you put 100 men in a room, most of those men will tell you what reality is. Most of those men will tell you what reality is. And that's what you have to do, sadly, because most men live in reality, whereas most of your women live in delusion. This idea that, hey, well, this body positivity, this idea that, hey, well, you know, all women are 10s. No, not all women are 10s. Only women can say that, but men can't. Men can't, and men will not sit here and say, "Well, yeah, all of these women are 10s." No, unless they're saying that just so they can get something out of you. But sadly, you're just not a 10. That chick is not a 10 whatsoever. But once again, shout out to Kevin Samuels. It's the agreeableness amongst women.
You ever see the VIP line where the young pretty girls get in for free?
Yes.
Have you ever been in that line? Or I mean, you know that line.
I have.
Huh?
I have.
And then what about the women that weren't in that line?
They have attitudes, and they're wondering why they're not getting in as fast.
Hold on. Are they really wondering why, or did they know why?
They probably know.
There's no probably,
sure
man. There's no probably. They know.
Okay.
Tell me why you getting the VIP for free and they can't.
Because we're dressed up. So like when you go out, we're wearing dresses, we wear heels.
Okay, if you look like Precious in heels and a dress, could you get in the VIP?
No.
Okay, so let's not play.
Not a single woman sat here and said, hey, ma'am, listen, now you know damn well you need to be number 5. No, because she knows that the second she says something, it will go from a woman just trying to use some common sense here to now, well, oh my gosh, you're fat shaming. Why you think I'm that? Why you think I should? Why you think I deserve to be number 5? You wouldn't get anywhere. You would not get anywhere. This is why men and women are very different. Men are not going to sit here, man, and try to play the delusional game and lie to each other. They're going to say, well, hold on, man. We know your strengths. We know your strengths. So we're going to put you there. Right. We know your strength, so we're going to put you there. And then as you can hear the chick, she's saying that, hey, well, you know, you're going to be number 3 or number 4. You know, it's not to say that you don't have personality. Man, we're not even worried about personalities right now. But that also is an indicator that, once again, we look at things differently. We look at things differently. You over here worry about personalities when we're just mainly focusing on looks. That's all we're doing. We're just focusing on looks. And then on top of that, once again, these are the same women, man, that will expect every man to just agree with how they look, how they act. And they think that they can make it up in other ways as well. So when, like, once again, she's saying it's not to say that your personality is bad. I would just assume that her personality is bad just off the strength of her having the audacity to sit here and place herself as the number 2 woman. You're tripping. You're tripping. I mean, look at the comments, guys. Look at the comments, man. Somebody says, we all know who was going to be the 5 spot. Then somebody else says the fridge got humbled. Then somebody else responds and says fantasy versus reality. Then AFG Amir says men come, men fix, men happy. Then somebody else responds and says feminism versus reality. Then Bull Sarah says, she responds and says, we all know the Asian is the first one, right? Not really, right? Not really, right? Not really. But I mean, hey, once again, you know, hey, it is what it is, man. But it's a me6583 responds and says, Big Back got humbled real quick. Then Miggy Piggy 23 says, is it the lack of self-awareness or just overbearing arrogance? Right? I think it's both. I think it's both, to be honest with you, man. She lacks awareness, but you could really say it's arrogance. You could really say it's arrogance. It's only your big women and your women, man, who are just not that cute, who are always going to say that they're a 10. That's always going to try to force people to look at them as if they are a model, as if they are just like your women, man, who aren't plus size, who actually work out, who actually look good. They're always going to try to force people to look at them in that light. And it's just like, bro, like, we're not trying to play that delusional game with you, though. Then somebody else responds and says, the pretty ones always get isolated by a woman. Sad, but true. And that is just a fact. What did I tell y'all? Like, the crazy thing is, man, the pretty ones always have to rally around the ugly ones. That's just what it is. The pretty ones always have to validate the ugly ones, because once again, the ugly ones, that should just prove that you are the least desirable, being that you have to have people rally around you and to encourage you to make you feel like you're beautiful, because that's all that is right here. They're just trying to validate her and make her feel like she's beautiful, because nobody's really going to argue. But the funny thing about it is, when they go back home, they're going to say, man, I can't believe that girl sat here and thought she looked better than me. You should have said something. But you're not going to say anything, because once again, your women have this idea that, well, you need to be a girl's girl, right? You need to be this. And it's really just validating the worst person in your group feelings. That's all it is. Not a single person said, ma'am, you are not a number 2 spot. You're not a number 3. You damn sure not a number 1. You are the least attractive woman in this group. Go ahead and put yourself at number 5.
moment you get one red flag, leave. So you don't create broken homes. So you don't create soul ties. You can be everything but nothing to somebody. And I'm going to say this until I die. I was with a man for 8 years, a good woman, do whatever this man wanted, work, took care of our kids. And that still was not enough. You know why? Because I was nothing to him. What I had to offer was not nothing. But it would have been everything to somebody else. Do not waste your time pouring into somebody that does not want to pour back into you. Do not waste your time with somebody that does not really love you, that does not really want you. The moment you get one red flag, leave. So you don't create broken homes. So you don't create soul ties. You deserve better. You have always deserved better. You have always deserved better. The moment somebody throws you off, get rid of them. There's no fixing it. If it's meant to be, they're going to get it right the first time around. I'm telling you. You're not going to ever have to feel upset. You're not going to ever have to cry. You're not going to ever have to remind somebody how to love you. It is going to come naturally. Let that shit go. Let it go. And save yourself the trauma and the time wasted. Save yourself. Love yourself. Be there for yourself, always. Because nobody's going to love you like you. Nobody's going to save you but you.
Perception is key to me. You say that, you know, hey, me, you saw the red flags. You know, you done spent all your time. Sounds like you was taking care of a Pookie, maybe. Right, maybe, but this is why I say perception is key. Just off the strength of just looking at this history. She's tatted up. She got a rainbow hairstyle. She got the bob, right? I mean, once again, I hate to say it. I just hate to say it, but a lot of your sisters, man, who have that, who sport a bad attitude, be walking around with a bob. I'm just being honest with you. A lot of your arrogant sisters, a lot of your sisters, man, who have a nasty attitude, they're walking around with bobs. So I could just only imagine this chick looking like Suki Hana and Tiana Taylor mixed. Look at Tiana Taylor and Suki Hana. They are already some sisters that's off the wall. They're off the chain. I'm not even going to say off the wall. They're off the chain, right? And just imagine putting them together. You're probably dealing with a sister that's just like that. Got attitudes that, I mean, once again, she's really not telling the full story here. She's really not telling the full story here. Now, she's saying that, hey, well, you know, I saw red flags, but I ignored them. But once again, I gotta see the man. And you also gotta hear the man's side of the story, because we always hear these women complain and cry and this, that, and the third. But it's like, once you get the full story, man, you weren't even innocent in the first place. So why did you even make the video? Right? Why did you even make the video? But I mean, you know, she's pouring her heart out. You know, she is pouring her heart out. And I definitely feel bad for her, because you can see it in her face. You can see it in her face. But it's like, man, let's hear the man's side of the story. Let's hear that man's side of the story. Let's hear that man's side of the story. Because once again, she's going to walk through life thinking that, hey, well, you know, men are out to just, you know, to just ruin her. Men are out. I mean, she's going to have a bad dating experience after this, right? Because now every man that she deals with, they're going to have to put up with whatever trauma this man brought on her, right? That, once again, like I said, perception is key. It seems like she dealt with a Pookie, and she said, hey, I seen the red flags. So you could have avoided this. You could have avoided this, but I could just only assume you probably prioritize a Pookie. Let's look at the comments, guys. Somebody says, official, I'm so trail or T-rail, however y'all want to say it. He responds and says, she is hurt. After you come out that pain, you have to take accountability and responsibility for the part you played. Even if you say you did nothing, doing nothing is something. Learn from it and move on. Then somebody else responds and says, pour that same energy in your relationship with God. He will send you the right man you need versus you chasing the man you want. Then somebody else responds and says, something's not adding up. Y'all quick to take sides. Then Jay Judo responds and says, girl, 2 years is the limit. If he don't propose by then leave. Then Yaya responds and says, they don't love you. They just love how you love them. Right. So, I mean, and if you look at a lot of these sisters, I mean, they tatted up. They look like you. They just look like your modern day sister, man, that a lot of your guys really not even going to want to deal with. Let's just be honest here. Then somebody else responds and says, she might be heartbroken, but she's dropping gems. part of a woman. Then I Am Trinity Simone responds and says, stop loving these men more than you love yourself. Then last but not least, somebody else responds and says, you can tell she told herself this plenty of times and it finally broke her. So, I mean, hey, you know, once again, man, we all got decisions we got to make. I'm still over here, man, learning off of my decisions as well. So, you know, but once again, guys, you know, especially when it comes down to a relationship, it's all about picking the right partner. That's all it is. It's all about picking the right partner, man. And as I stated before, perception is key. Just looking at her, she probably was not making the best decisions. So do me a huge favor, leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know down below. What do you guys think?